What's going on, Triad Hip Hop Podcast family? It's your man, Kurt, back at it again. This time bringing you another one of our Lost in Thought segments. You know, it's been going around the internet that your boy 21 Savage said that Nas was not relevant, and I thought that was a good subject to talk about because I find it a very weird statement to make. You know what I mean? But I also understand his logic. You know what I mean? From his probably immature way of thinking. You know what I mean? Hip hop, as they say, well, a lot of people say it's a young man's sport. Now, I don't agree with that. You know, I think hip hop is a professional sport. And I mean that meaning I don't give a fuck how old you are. If you good at that shit and you've mastered the craft, you should be doing that shit. You know what I mean? Somebody like a Rakim can still rap his ass off in 2022, 2023, and beyond. And even a Melly Mel, you know what I mean, can still rap. And, he's been rapping since the 70s, you know what I mean? So I don't look at it as a young man's sport. I think that if you really think about Nas and what he's talking about on his album, I think that it may be the real king's disease, because we, as the hip-hop community, as the black community, most of us feel like, once you've had a certain peak in the game, that you need to just get the fuck out the way. Nobody cares about you anymore. And that's not correct. We can't go around just saying somebody's irrelevant or doesn't matter just because they're of a certain age. Nas raps like he is fucking 16 years old and still hungry. So Nas is a professional. He has mastered the craft. He is a poet, you know what I mean? And he is a king in this game, you know what I mean? He's a GOAT in the game. You can talk about that age bullshit all you want, but that don't fly with a real hip-hop head. Somebody who's really submersed in the culture, you know what I mean? They're not going to look at it as, now that you've turned 40, I don't give a fuck how good you rap. You should just walk to the side. That comes from a limited thinking. That means you think that basically there's not enough shine for everybody. You know what I mean? You're thinking like a little kid, which most of y'all have those mind states. You don't understand there's enough money and shine to go around for everybody, because everybody's different. If everybody can hone their own unique, differences, then there's no need for us to feel like, oh, you need to get out of the way so that I can shine. There's no reason for that, because if I'm doing my thing and you're doing your thing, we're not in each other's way. But you know where that comes from? That's the king's disease, in my opinion, because everybody now wants to be a carbon copy of other people. See, everything is different now, you know what I mean? When I grew up, and I know this is going to make me sound older, which I am, but when I grew up, you looked up to rappers, older rappers, and you was like, man, I can't wait until I'm old enough to be as smart as this guy, as talented as this guy, as skillful as this guy. And now it's the opposite. Now you got these older people who are brainwashed by these younger groups. Oh man, I want to be like them. I'm going to try to fit my old ass into some skinny jeans like these young kids. And, I'm going to try to wear the same clothes that they wear and walk around like they wear. Nah, that shit is whack to me, man. Just fucking be yourself, man. Be yourself. There's no future in trying to be like somebody else. That's why y'all feel like we can't shine if you shine it, because now we all trying to be like each other. When, years ago it used to be, I can't wait to be as smart as this person so that I can figure my own shit out. You know what I mean? You never try to really, when I was growing up, you never really tried to be like somebody. You just wanted to be as smart as them, as intelligent as them, as much of a leader as them. And you just was like, I can't wait to do it my way. You know what I mean? So I can show people what my skills are. Because we don't need another Big Daddy Kane. We don't need another Rakim. We don't need another Nas. We don't need another Eminem. You know what I mean? We don't need another Ghostface Killer. We got all of those. So figure out what works for you individually and do that shit. And then nobody would have the nerve or even the reason to say you're irrelevant or you're not relevant. You know what I mean? I mean, think about that. You know what I mean? Relevant? Matter of fact, let's look up the definition of relevant. Let's see here. According to the online dictionary, relevant as an adjective means closely connected or appropriate to what is being done or is considered. Closely connected or appropriate to what is being done or considered. So what is being done or considered? Rap and hip hop. And is Nas closely connected or appropriate to that? Hell the fuck yes he is. That man is absolutely closely connected, and I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. And if he can still do it, he should. You know, God don't give you talent and say, okay, once you get to that certain age, stop. God wants you to use your talent as long as you possibly can, because you're going to have people who need that. You know what I mean? People who love real music love to hear Nas. That's why he got such a loyal fan base. And I mean, and I'm not trying to shit on 21 Savage. Let me make that clear. I'm just trying to maybe shed a little light for these younger folks, or educate the younger folks on, you have to understand what you say and what it means. You know what I mean? You can't just go out spewing shit, because see, to me, what he did was, when he said he was not relevant, he tried to clean it up real quick. You know what I mean? Oh, well, but he makes good ass music and he has loyal fan base. He makes good ass music. So he tried to, kind of, do that compliment, to balance it out. You know what I mean? And to me, that wasn't a real genuine, thought. I think he was just more so, let me just make sure I don't get canceled because of what I said. You know what I mean? Let me just say this. But, and that's neither here or there. I could be wrong about that, but that's how I feel. But anyway, he's right. Nas makes good ass music. So if that's the case, if you can acknowledge that a man makes good music, then why would he not be relevant? Because if you say someone's not relevant, the only thing that should be following is the reason why they're not relevant. You know what I mean? What reason is he not relevant? I could see if you said, Nas only knows how to rap like they did in the 70s and early 80s. Nas, and all that dumb shit. It's not like it's dumb, but you know what I'm saying? If he was kind of stuck in that time warp, I could see you maybe saying he's not relevant because he doesn't know how to rap more versatile, or he doesn't have a variety of skills. And in fact, that's the opposite, because Nas has a variety of skills. He's very talented. He knows how to rap many different ways, and that's what makes him one of the GOATs. So to me, I don't understand why you would say that. And of course there were other people in the room echoing what he was saying. Yeah, he ain't relevant. I mean, that comes from an untrained ear. You know what I mean? That's an untrained ear who doesn't understand what hip hop is. You think that as long as you rap in one way and it's making you a lot of money, that makes you relevant, and it really doesn't. That makes you popular. It doesn't make you relevant. It makes you popular. And popular doesn't always equal relevant. So the thing about it is, I just want to say to all the younger kids out there who may hear this, you know, think about what you say, you know what I mean? And try to think about how other cultures are, because when you think about any other culture, rock and roll, country music, you know what I mean? You got people like Garth Brooks out here still doing country music after 30 years. He been in the game 30 years. He came out about the same time Nas did. And all of the country fans love him. You don't ever hear young country fans saying, oh, Garth Brooks is irrelevant. You know, you don't hear young rock and roll fans saying, oh, Slash is irrelevant. You know what I mean? Oh, all these old heads like Kiss is irrelevant. Hell no. If Kiss does a concert right now, they would sell the fuck out in minutes. That's relevance for your ass. So I'm just saying, think about shit like that before you go saying somebody's irrelevant or just, you know, throwing them in the back seat. You know what I mean? Just because you don't get it. To me, you just don't get it. If you feel that way, that means you don't get it. And you're entitled to your opinion, but at least be smart about your opinion. You know, have a open mind enough to weigh out things and say, you know what, wait a minute, what makes me think that this man is irrelevant? What's the actual reason? And then get back to me on that. You know what I mean? Let's chop it up in the comments, man, because I'm a fan of the young rappers and the older rappers. You know what I mean? I like a lot of the young rappers. You know what I mean? I love Cordae. You know what I mean? I actually love the Baby. You know what I mean? I love Lil Baby. You know, all of these guys. I mean, they got some good stuff with them, man. You know what I mean? And they're doing their thing. But I'm not gonna say, oh well, I would never listen to Lil Baby because he doesn't rap like Nas rap. You know, he's not relevant to real hip hop, or the Baby's not relevant to, you know, what Rakim was doing. I mean, the Baby is doing his thing. Why would I want to say he's irrelevant when he's doing his own unique thing? You know what I mean? Lil Baby, the same thing. You know what I mean? Cordae, the same thing. All of them are using their individual talents. That's what I like about those guys, because they're not clones of the next man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good ones out there that are not clones of the next man. Honestly, man, I've never been a big 21 Savage fan, but I would never say he's irrelevant or not relevant, because the younger kids like him. And that's cool. Good for them. You know, he's not my cup of tea, but if y'all like him, so be it. Buy his music, support him, go to his shows, do all of that shit. But when you come out of your mouth and just say somebody's not relevant, to me, that's just talking out of ignorance, and you have an untrained ear. You're only trained, and you've only trained your ear to, excuse me, you've only trained your ear to support trash. You know, not necessarily even trash, but you've only trained your ear in one direction. Let's say that. You've only said, well, this is what my generation likes, this one lane, and I'm going to train myself in that. And that's all I can hear when I hear music. If you don't sound like that, you ain't shit. Come on, man. Come on. Anyway, but that's my rant, you know what I mean? Thank y'all for listening to this Lost in Thought segment with me. I just wanted to talk about that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are rappers like Nas relevant? Not relevant? What's the deal? What's your thoughts on that? And hit me up and we'll talk about it. Let's chop it up. Thank you for watching Triad Hip Hop Podcast. This is your man Kurt. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.